All right, let's do number 47 and 9.5. So they tell us that we want to solve 1 over capital R equals 1 over little r1 plus 1 over little r2 for capital R. Is this the first time you guys have seen these hit?
No.
In a long time.
Maybe in a while. So all these mean is there are two R's, right? And we want to, for some reason, give them different labels. So these might be the rate of reaction 1 and the rate of reaction 2, or the radius of your little disk and the radius of your big disk, or something else, right? They just wanted to use the letter R twice, but they can't because then they'd be confused. So they chose to kind of mark their R's. If you fiddle around enough with math, you'll see people do stuff like this, right, where they just kind of decorate their R's. That's really all they're doing, right? So how do I solve this for big R? What do they even mean by that? What am I looking to do? So how do you solve for x? How about that? What's the end result of solve for x look like?
Getting it by itself.
Yeah, x equals stuff, right? So here when they're asking for us to solve for big R, right, our goal here should be big R equals stuff, right? Okay, cool. Okay, so really that's all I want to do. So how do I even start that?
Find a common bottom between them.
Okay, we can find a common bottom on this side. You guys see that? Okay. So 1 over R equals, what's your common bottom over there? R1 times R2, right? So I've got 1 over R1. What does that need, top and bottom?
R2.
Yeah, it needs an R2. And then at my 1 over R2, what does that need, top and bottom?
R1.
That needs an R1. Okay, so I find out that 1 over R, my capital R, is what?
R2 plus R1.
R2 plus R1 over
Common bottom.
the common bottom, which is R1, R2, right? Oops. Cool. All right, now what? Say that again.
Cross multiply.
Cross multiply. No. Cross multiply is crazy. Cross multiply is not an operation. That's nuts. I wish we wouldn't teach that crap. But it works. Why does cross multiply work? You guys know what she means by cross multiply?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's pretend we don't. I want the R on the top. How do I get that to happen? No. Multiply by R. You guys see that?
Yeah.
If I multiply both sides of this business by R, on the left-hand side, what am I going to get? I'm going to get R over R, right?
Okay.
On the right-hand side, I'm going to get R times R2 plus R1 over R1, R2, right? What's the left-hand side? I wrote R over R, but what do I really mean there? 1. Okay. So now how do you get R by itself?
Divide both sides by the parentheses.
Yeah, I want to divide both sides by this garbage, right? You guys see that? Maybe instead of divide both sides by this garbage, we might think now about multiply both sides by that garbage flipped over. You see that? Why would I flip it? Anybody see?
Dividing.
Yeah, I want to divide, right? Or I could think, hey, if I multiply this stuff by that, it'll cancel, right? The R1 plus R2 will cancel. with the R1 plus R2, and the R1 and the R2 will cancel with the R1 and the R2. Good, see that? So I'll get capital R equals, not 1.
R.
You'll get that on the other side, right?
Yeah, you need to multiply both sides by this, right? So you'll get R1, R2 over R1 plus R2. Why? Okay, what if we try to do it in a couple of steps? So instead of multiplying by all this crap, what if I took this thing and I multiplied both sides just by the bottom? R1, R2. So on the left-hand side, I'm going to get R1, R2, right, times 1, equals, on the right-hand side, what's going to happen? Yeah, I'll still have a capital R, and I'll still have a R1 plus R2 or R2 plus R1, whatever. And then, where'd the other R's go? Yeah, they cancel, right? You guys see that? They're a onesie. Really, this is over R1, R2, and then this is times R1, R2. So this stuff and that stuff cancel. Then what would you do? You want to get big R by itself, so you divide by the crap that's multiplied by it, right? So take this business, divide by R1 plus R2. That'll get you straight to R is R1, R2 over R1 plus R2. You see that? Same thing. Cool? Questions? Okay, there you go. Alternatively, you could go back to the beginning. And at the very beginning, you could have said, okay, 1 over R is this stuff, right? Maybe I just throw an over 1 in there for kicks. And then I think, okay, I want R, right? So I want to flip this side over. So I should have to flip that side over. So at the beginning, I could see that R is 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2. And then if you common bottom this sucker out and flip the thing over, you'll get back to here again. Cool? Lots of ways to think on that one. I'm not particularly worried about which one you use, so long as you can do it. Questions, concerns, things? Little piece of advice for these. It makes your life a little easier if you just think about the R1 and the R2 as numbers. Right? Then you can just manipulate them like they're numbers and it'll all be fine. Cool? All right.